Saint-Germain entertained Bayern Munich in what is arguably the plum tie of the last 16 stage of the Champions League. The two sides in contrasting form though, PSG having lost their last two games, beaten by Marseille and Monaco in the Coupe de France and the League. Both of those games were away though, however changes have been made. 5 in total from the Monaco defeat. Achraf Hakimi, Sergio Ramos, Nuno Mendes, Marco Verratti and Lionel Messi return to the starting lineups. Timothy Pembele, El Chadei Bichiabu, Juan Bernat Vitinha and Hugo Ekitike are the 5 to make way. Bayern Munich have won their last 3, beating Bochum 3-0 at the weekend. 2 changes from that side. Joshua Kimmich and Kingsley Coman return in place of Serge Gnabry and Thomas Müller. The lineups in full. PSG is Donnarumma, Hakimi, Ramos, Marquinhos, Mendes, Verratti, Danilo, Zafre, Emery, Sola, Messi and Neymar, while Bayern Munich go with Sommer, Upamecano, De Ligt, Pavard, Kimmich, Goretzka, Sane, Cancelo, Musiala, Coman and Choupo-Moting. Kick-off fast approaching at the Parc des Princes, where Paris Saint-Germain entertained Bayern Munich in what is arguably the plum tie of the last 16 stage. With Kimmich and Kingsley Coman return in place of Serge Gnabry and Thomas Müller. The lineups in full. PSG is Donnarumma, Hakimi, Ramos, Marquinhos, Mendes, Verratti, Danilo, Zafre, Emery, Sola, Messi and Neymar, while Bayern Munich go with Sommer, Upamecano, De Ligt, Pavard, Kimmich, Goretzka, Sane, Cancelo, Musiala, Coman and Choupo-Moting. Kick-off fast approaching at the Parc de France, where Paris Saint-Germain entertained Bayern Munich in what is arguably the plum tie of the last 16 stage of the Champions League. The two sides in contrasting form, though. PSG having lost their last two games, beaten by Marseille and Monaco in the Coupe de France and the League. Both of those games were away, though. However, changes have been made. 5 in total from the Monaco defeat. Achraf Hakimi, Sergio Ramos, Nuno Mendes, Marco Verratti and Lionel Messi return to the starting lineups. Timothy Pembele, El Chadai Bichiabu, Juan Bernat Vitinha and Hugo Ekitike are the 5 to make way. Bayern Munich have won their last 3, beating Bochum 3-0 at the weekend. 2 changes from that side. Joshua Kimmich and Kingsley Coman return in place of Serge Gnabry and Thomas Muller. The lineups in full. PSG is Donnarumma, Neymar, while Bayern Munich go with Sommer, Upamecano, in contrasting form, though. PSG having lost their way, though. However, changes have been made. 5 in total from the Monaco defeat. Starting lineup: Timothy Pembele, Ekitike are the 5. Joshua Kim return in Ramos, Marquinhos, Mendes, Verratti, Danilo, Zafre, Emery, Soler, Messi and Neymar, while Bayern Munich go with Sommer, Upamecano, De Ligt, Pavard, Kimmich, Goretzka, Sane, Cancelo, Musiala, Coman and Choupo-Moting. Kick-off fast approaching at the Parc de France, where Paris Saint-Germain entertained Bayern Munich in what is arguably the plum tie of the last 16 stage of the Champions League. The two sides in contrasting form, though. PSG having lost their last 2 games, beaten by Marseille and Monaco in the Coupe de France and the League. Both of those games were away, though. However, changes have been made. 5 in total from the Monaco defeat. Achraf Hakimi, Sergio Ramos, Nuno Mendes, Marco Verratti and Lionel Messi return to the starting lineups. Timothy Pembele, El Chadai Bichiabu, Juan Bernat Vitinha and Hugo Ekitike are the 5 to make way. Bayern Munich have won their last 3, beating Bochum 3-0 at the weekend. 2 changes from that side. Joshua Kimmich and Kingsley Coman return in place of Serge Gnabry and Thomas Muller. The lineups in full. PSG is Donnarumma. Well, a warm welcome along to our coverage of the action taking place at the Parc de France, where PSG entertain Bayern Munich. Could easily be a final, of course it was a couple of years ago, but one of them has to depart this evening. Both sides are obviously big names, but PSG just struggling for form at the moment. They've lost their last 2, knocked out of the Coupe de France by Marseille, and then they were beaten 3-1 by Monaco in the league at the weekend. Although they are still in control of the title race, some 5 points clear of Marseille. Bayern Munich are also top of the Bundesliga, but that's a little bit tighter. They're only a point clear of Union Berlin. They have drawn a couple since the World Cup 4 on the bounce. It was, in fact, one of those was a friendly, but RB Leipzig, Cologne and Eintracht Frankfurt held the leaders and champions, of course, but they have since won their last 3, scoring 11 goals in those 3 games. Beat Bochum 3-0 at the weekend to ensure they stayed top. They are the visitors this evening. We'll run you through the team news in a moment if you didn't catch it. Myself, Rob Eddy and Harry Jones taking you through this one, and it's a pretty big tie at this stage.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it could easily be a final like we saw a few years ago, and it's just a shame that one of the two biggest teams in the competition are going to have to go out so early on. But yeah, it's going to be a really big game. I mean, PSG really have brought worse form into the game, could they? I mean, they've lost their last two, pretty unconvincing in both, and missing a few key players through injury, but there's no excuse when they've got a side like they have. They really should be winning most games in the league and in their domestic cup competitions. Bayern had a bit of a scare, didn't they, a few weeks ago after the return from the World Cup. They drew a few games in a row, but they're back to winning ways. So I think they'll definitely be probably the more confident coming into this. Mbappe on the bench, one of the star men in that PSG side, so he won't be able to make an impact until later on in the game. So I think Bayern probably fancy themselves here.
Go through the team news for you. 5 changes for PSG. They're about to kick off. 5 changes for PSG. 3 of them have come defensively. Achraf Hakimi, Sergio Ramos and Nuno Mendes restored to the starting lineup. Marco Verratti back in midfield as well. And of course, Lionel Messi returns up front. Perhaps importantly, Mbappe might start to see some minutes. He's had an injury problem, but he is on the bench this evening. I'll run you through the lineups in a moment, but just to let you know, the action has finally started at the Parc des Princes. 2 changes for Bayern Munich. Incidentally, Joshua Kimmich, the skipper, returns along with Kingsley Coman up front. Bayern on the attack pretty much straight away, but that ball in towards the box. Well dealt with. Musiala was the target. Mistake though from Hakimi. And here comes Choupo-Moting for Bayern Munich. Edge of the box. Shot comes in and it's gone wide of the post. Wasn't sure how close it was because Donnarumma flung himself across the box. It looked as though it was actually quite well wide, but promising start for Bayern.
Yeah, it is. And Choupo-Moting instantly wanting to unleash a shot, should I say, as on the edge of the box. He's not scared to shoot, is he? He's leading the line now for this Bayern side. They've just been dispossessed here, PSG. They're trying to play out from the back, and there's shaky scenes as they really can't seem to clear the ball. Eventually, Donnarumma hoofs it clear, but they haven't started this game the best, and they almost got caught out again.
Yeah, I've only just completed a minute, but PSG just struggling to maintain the ball. Here come Bayern once more. Little back heel from Choupo-Moting was intercepted almost to the benefit of Choupo-Moting. His back heel came back to him off a defender almost. Neymar will give chase. There's a long punt downfield, but Upamecano is there for Bayern Munich, so a promising game. It's difficult to suggest this is how it's going to play out. To the Allianz Arena is Kingsley Coman. Cancelo playing on the right hand side. Sane, of course, I think he's been utilised as a wing back. Ball in field from Cancelo is a little bit way line, and promising it remains for the men in red. It's Kingsley Coman on the touchline, coming onto his right foot, tries to switch play to Cancelo. Turns and applauds the delivery. Certainly the idea of the
side. I mean, so both-footed, isn't he? That just cuts the wasn't quite on his toes. Got caught out slightly. It went just a little bit too deep, but that's the sort of threat they can provide, especially now he's playing a little bit further forward than what he usually would have for Manchester City in the Premier League. Half occupying a left wing back role, but he's actually playing very far forward, so it's more of a back three and then just a flat four in the middle. So they're really going attacking here, Bayern, and it's seeming to work so far because PSG can't really get out of their own penalty area.
1-1-0. That was after they lost 3-2 at home, though. As right to left, and it's asking Kingsley Coman to do the attacking, which he does. Coming infield, runs into a bit of traffic. Close to the halfway line, actually. Just retreating there was Kimmich, thinking about taking a quick one. And in fact, he'll leave it for Sane. Poor control in the middle. Trying to ride the challenge. Has he got a free kick? Might just have been bundled over by the lit. I think this will be a free kick to PSG on the halfway line. Indeed it is. So if they keep possession like they have done, admittedly it's 4 minutes.
Messi's trait, isn't it? He doesn't really touch the ball for the first 10 minutes, walks around the park, and then he susses out his real game plan and how he can attack that Bayern defence, and you almost just sit back and watch while he dances round. But yeah, like you said, so far they need to get the ball to him if they're going to bridge that gap, aren't they, between the defence and attack. It's almost frantic clearances every time PSG do regain possession.
Obviously no goals in this, as Kingsley Coman's under a little bit of pressure, facing his own goal. He is midway inside his own half, so just for the run of Sane, who I thought might have been playing left wing back, but Coman halfway line up, left hand side. Mendes taking his time closely by Cancelo. Possession for them, and as I say, that Verratti look for a long ball in behind, just on different wavelength to the overlap at the going at all at the moment. But it does remain 0-0, of course, crucially. And I guess it's not awesome to carry the penalty of for the home side, that is. So as long as you've got goals in you, doesn't matter whether you score or home or away. As Pavard tries to create good, it's only partially cleared. Who intercepts. They're trying to play the way advert trouble by Marquinhos over any teammate's head. De Ligt has it for Bayern. A lot of variety of the runner who's going past Choupo-Moting. It has been Coman, it has been Musiala, it was Sane just then. So the PSG defence, which hasn't looked overly convincing so far. There, but I mean, you wouldn't think, from what I've seen from
on the right hand side, so that's not. Bayern just look a lot sharper, don't they, going forward? And I think it's a credit to that sort of front four or even five that they're so. Well, Musiala's dropping it in the 10, and he's going ahead of Choupo-Moting, and you've got the two wide players, Coman and Sane. They're not really sort of locked down into a certain position, are they? And it's becoming a real problem. And I think right now there's only one side who look likely to take the lead.
Yeah, still so early in the game though. Just passing into the 12th minute. Goalless at the Parc des Princes. In a independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary, but possession-wise, no, to a degree from Ramos. It has come at the expense of a throw in to Bayern Munich, which they've taken already. And Pavard up an attack. Plug in the right touchline. Now Pavard. Now Pavard and Upamecano. Two, of course, the back three, very high up the pitch. That they are feeling. That's Sane. In fact, it's Musiala, just a little bit of a nudge in the back of Danilo, who didn't need a second invitation to hit the deck. Free kick to PSG, very deep inside their own half left. The one shot that's been struck was comfortably wide of the post. From the angle that we've got, for a moment, there's a little bit of a gap. The pass out to Choupo-Moting, who's trying to take them all on. Offside given again. Half a yard too soon. But again, that's Bayern Munich forcing a mistake, winning the ball. And ball into Sane. Sane's a bit too nonchalant there for Bayern Munich. Now bounces to the Brazilian left edge of the box. Great pass. He was closed down, outnumbered in the end. Bit of life though from PSG attack.
Yeah, it's about time we saw them try something like that. I mean, on the counter attack, they looked out of his feet. Upamecano was there to close him down, but it's a better signs from PSG. They're actually showing a bit of character and not just completely sitting back there. A player maybe with a bit more quality than Choupo-Moting could have created something maybe a bit better. But here come Bayern once more.
Yeah, Coman just riding the challenge of Hakimi. Ball in towards Choupo-Moting. That's the lot of the striker. It is cleared, but only to PSG. I don't know if that was just because they didn't want to touch it. It's behind the defence. None of them made a play, but it's too far ahead of Bayern, and it goes behind. Early stages. And Sergio Ramos, of course, injury. He's leading the counter. Plenty of Ramos wanted a bit more aggression and ambition with the pass, but that's a good switch of play to Messi. He's got a bit of space, having dropped off defenders. He's bringing it forward, 30 yards from goal, square. Bring it clear, but then Sane caught in possession once again. So this is about as potent as PSG have been in these opening exchanges. Just reminding Bayern that they're not going to have everything target. This is a bit more like it. Messi and Neymar just starting to see a bit of the ball. Obviously, the stars are on the field in terms of their standing in the game. It's not to say that they make a better team, but I think as a team, PSG.
No, they're not, and I think it's quite apparent that we see them in the Champions League. They do tend to get caught out against the better teams, but whether that's because they're not been tested as much in the league, it hasn't been picked up yet. But in the games like this, in the Champions League games where they do need to play with a bit, players who are notoriously, I don't want to say, but for the better parts, lazier players up front. They don't really like to do the high pressing, the dirty work. They don't really seem to indulge in as much of the ball. They can't just create magic, and they do need the weaknesses are starting to show.
Coman has it for Bayern Munich, rather, to Choupo-Moting. Back out to Coman, who's trying to go around the outside of Hakimi. Does so, gets a left-footed cross in. Well, it was taken from him by Danilo, but Cancelo's then won it back. And Danilo a little bit out of position. Bayern Munich at the moment content to do so because the space is for the light. Basically, any one of those back three put in some good cross-field diagonals. Upamecano happens to be playing in the middle of those three as Cancelo works it forward to Musiala. The return pass under him. Danilo was cool. We haven't seen many free kicks in this game, and I have to say that's not seen much of a challenge so far. Another ball is over here. PSG, they've done that a number of times. Play it to a teammate, but it runs away off their own half with De Ligt switching it to Pavard. And again, those runners down. Emery, he's caught his man, and it's another free kick, just as said there weren't any. And it is just inside the PS back with the French. Sergio Ramos from Hakimi has actually done well by Verratti, but so for Emery not so much. And Bayern Munich have it back. I mean, the pitch looks pretty good, so I'm not going to blame bobbles or things like that. Diagonal looking for Cancelo, headed away though by Mendes and picked up by Danilo. So, rather nonchalantly. Is running through the middle. Neymar's ignored him for the time being. Then Pavard just got across Neymar. The ball falls at the Coman, probably caught in three minds from behind legitimately, and Michael Oliver, the referee, is there, and he's going to check that Neymar is all right.
I've got himself into a good position to defend. Neymar couldn't get the run on him. Went down, feeling the challenge. Injury, so he's going to go back and see to Neymar, but he looks absolutely fine. There's slight contact on the jaw from the
essentially the hand in the chest, but then of course Neymar's absolute nail of that one. In the Bayern, the PSG half, it's just essentially walking down the field. He's not necessarily, so maybe Bayern are more interested in a change of tactic there. There's no real complaints from PSG. A little bit over the top with his theatrics. Obviously, no real complaints from Neymar, I'd have to say. He got up eventually and themselves into a bit of a hole again. And Nuno Mendes win it off Kimmich. Kimmich is a lot quicker back to his inside the 23rd minute. Breaking play, see a handover midway through the first.
Yeah, hoping for a little bit more free-flying football. Pretty convincingly. A real threat from many Bayern Munich players arriving onto the end of so far in this first half. They're high intensity Bayern, but so far Carlos Soler closed down Benjamin Pavard, but to no avail as they move forward once more. Cancelo finds Leroy Sané, tries a direct ball into side. The slightly frustrated with the lack of output and the lack of quality in the final third. He wants to see a little bit more from his direct ball, but not really sure who he's aiming at. It's in between both teammates, and Now Verratti will come away with a lovely bit of footwork, but he's just been hounded out by one too many red shirts. Neymar putting back to replace Manuel Neuer, who won't now feature. We don't think until the end of the season at earliest, or if not, sprays the ball out towards the left-hand side. Goretzka will now drive forward before floating it short towards Kingsley Coman. He'll try a switch ball to the right-hand side. It's a really good one as Cancelo takes it down on the chest. Looks to stand up against Nuno Mendes. It's just been pushed a little bit further. Donnarumma, it was a weak effort in the end. I think it was more so maybe pretty comfortable in the end for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I suppose, criticism you'd lay at Bayern Munich. They've had a lot of possession. They've turned the ball. A shot, it's 2. It's been a little bit disappointing in the final third. But, you know, they are the away side. And if they're dominating possession, etc., at the Parc des Princes, they'll expect to do that at the Allianz Arena. This time, Neymar has been caught from behind by Pavard. There and Michael Oliver. He's made his mark. He's got in the referee's head. Now keeping with the game, hasn't it? We haven't seen challenges. Opportunity for Neymar to foul Neymar and tell the referees foul him. So I think that's a silly yellow card from Pavard. It's on the halfway line. Where's Neymar going?
Yeah, he's trying to turn him there, but Pavard pushing the back, a leg across, no real attempt. Career. But anyway, we get back underway. Pavard now got the best part of beforehand. As João Cancelo now picks the ball up on the right-hand side, just hugging the touchline. Back in field to Kimmich now. Leroy Sané straight in towards Choupo-Moting. He's going to play it out towards Pavard. His age, Sergio Ramos got in ahead of Musiala. Good strength, just pokes the ball out of play, but it's going to be our first corner of the match. It's going to go in favour of Bayern Munich.
He plays the ball, so who knows how VAR would react to that. But yeah, he stood on it. He didn't commit. And like you say, we'll see what the threat is.
Yeah, ball delivered in by Joshua Kimmich. Can't be won by any Bayern players, but it's fallen to Coman on the edge of the box. He's trying to go for the heroic. Pretty comfortable in the end for the goalkeeper to watch over as tried to go for that almost scissor kick volley from the edge of the box. As they've given the ball. Cynical. It's going to be a Bayern free kick right on the edge of the box. Then gives away the free kick. A horror. A couple of seconds for him. And a very good opportunity for Bayern.
Yeah, you just wonder with the cynicism whether it get a yellow card. PSG players, but I mean, obviously they haven't leaked many attempts at goal, but inside the left edge of the box, a couple of yards outside. Kimmich is one of those standing over it, as is Sané. I guess you might think 4 or 5 hour more. Not sure Kimmich is renowned for his free.
Kimmich, it looks like he's going to take it. He's going to go for goal. It clips the top of the wall. I think Hakimi was the man that got the touch on it. It'll be a Bayern Munich corner as we just see a replay helped him out, but they will still have to defend it. They're a little bit under the cosh. PSG not really been able to Coman once more. Now Cancelo on halfway. He'll look to maybe get the ball back in and around the penalty area while they're still bodies forward. Pavard thanking his lucky stars that he's got his side a free kick because he looked like he was in danger.
Yeah, I do think they came off that last. They were all appealing for the decision. I think Choupo-Moting might have got his side a corner because I think Mendes could have just got the last touch. Goes behind. I think this should be a corner that they've given a goal kick. I think that came off Choupo there, but it's probably about as dangerous as Bayern have looked because
play the ball to Musiala. He's had a shot challenged there by Marco Verratti, and it will go out for a corner. Bayern growing in. German was bounding in on goal, but nice tracking back there from Marco Verratti to put him under pressure, stopping him from getting that shot on goal. For aggressors, Kimmich standing over with a set piece, be a right penalty area. And De Ligt was arriving and flying, just battling there and pushed one of the PSG players to the ground, but it wasn't really going to make a difference. De Ligt wasn't going to get there. He flew almost past the ball, a bit too eager, but PSG get the game back underway from the free kick. Can they make anything work here? It's back towards Mendes, and there's a massive gap for Soler to run through the middle, but he's trying to go for a short ball into Neymar, been dispossessed all the way, but it will be a PSG throw-in on this near side. Has given the ball away from the throw-in, almost thrown it directly at Goretzka. I'm not sure what he was thinking there, but thankfully for him, Goretzka's first touch was short into Verratti. Now Hakimi once more. Back in towards Messi. And Verratti. This is better play from PSG now. As got the better of him that time, the Argentinian. It is Messi once more. Now De Ligt comes flying in. They're trying to... And now they'll look to counter attack. They've got men over it, Bayern Munich. Another opportunity. A bit more of a slower manner as Pavard tries to sling a ball into the box. The only man it was in there this half, but just not really alert. The forward players are always a yard or area, need to be a bit sharper and try and latch onto it. But it's going to be a shot from range there from Kingsley Coman towards the near post. It was around about 30 yards out. It's gone onto the near. They're never really going to threaten him, but another attempt from Kingsley Coman, who seems to be the only man who wants to really have a shot on goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I've seen worse strikes, obviously, but there's anything for the efforts that Bayern Munich have had where they're going to get a chance from PSG, because Neymar Neymar and Messi, if they're the two that highest up baseball to feet, and take it from there, and they're just doing a decent job, considering none of them are playing particularly. Munich have had about five or six shots, but they've all largely been. Bayern Munich don't, to me, look like they're going to score. Surprisingly, it's 0-0.
Yeah, still waiting for that breakthrough from with PSG with those two up front. Can create something out of nothing as here comes Messi, and he's done really well there to get the better of a couple of players, and Messi's still going forward. 3 or 4 Bayern Munich players with ease. As I said, he had to get the challenge right, otherwise he could have either put himself in trouble. He's already on a yellow card, or even worse, could have allowed Messi. Good decision making from the Frenchman, but PSG come forward once more through. Got only Neymar really in and around the penalty area, so they're going to have to try out towards the right hand side. Hakimi's out there, so is Emery. It is now with Hakimi. He'll have to play further on to any real intention of trying to get forward there. A bit too slow, just a couple of seconds too slow, maybe a couple of touches too many. With Joshua Kimmich can seem to be just off the ball a little bit. 1 second too late in everything they're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's well, the 2-1 situations. So obviously Messi, Neymar attracting a lot of attention. Well, I mean, I don't think Verratti's made the best start to the attack at the moment, and the attack's been a little bit generous because it never gets to within 30 yards of the goal. So for the away side. The problem is they haven't really like scoring either, but they're the side that's having the shots.
Yeah, they are. There's a bit of an issue when we're of central midfielders with PSG, so a man running behind and in an unfamiliar area for himself. He's the furthest man forward, but Bayern Munich are going to try and play out from the back from a tight area. It is with maybe the problem with a team like Bayern Munich, how they're being so comfortable here. They don't really need to go for a goal. They'll fancy themselves off level terms at the Allianz Arena. So maybe just this near side. What about in line with the penalty area? Cancelo's going to come over to take. Throws it over the top for Goretzka to latch onto him behind, but opted out of that option and he wanted to keep the ball rolling on the floor. Here is now Kimmich. Turns away from Neymar, plays it towards Upamecano on halfway. Bayern Munich moving the ball Goretzka, but actually towards Leroy Sané. But another throw in on this near side. It is with Cancelo. Stop-start stuff here from both sides. Not really any sort of urgency. It seemed like Bayern were coming out the blocks, all guns blazing, and they had a high intensity. But now it's real side-to-side. Leon Goretzka, he was the only man really in the penalty area to aim at. He tried to flick it over the top of Sergio Ramos. It may have come off Ramos last, so it could be a corner here. And the real
yet, but at least they've got somebody running into the stride. Sane will try. Bayern Munich, PSG just aren't doing that. There's no threat in.
Yeah, Messi trying to get away from Kingsley Coman there. He does really well to hold on to possession. Brought down there by Kingsley Choupo-Moting, sorry. Michael Oliver waves on advantage as the ball goes over the top of Zaire Emery, who's trying to latch onto it. Really good play by Leroy Sané, who was the furthest man back there, one of the front three in this Bayern Munich attack. Tracked Zaire Emery all the way back to his own goal line, and starting in the Champions League, that's a feat in itself. And Cancelo tries a direct ball over the top for Choupo-Moting. Sergio Ramos is there to sweep up the time yet. Trying long balls now over the top Bayern after the small, methodical, slower approach wasn't really working for them. But and they've got a bit of space in the middle. Verratti will play it through the middle for Neymar to give. Neymar was through on goal there, but he had to time that right side. Sommer cleared the ball well. Verratti I think Verratti just may have landed awkwardly slightly, but Neymar, that's the best chance for PSG, but Sommer denied him.
Onside. There was a chance there, but of course they got it wrong, didn't they? Because Verratti's got possession, he's playing it through, but he's overcooked it, as it were. But there was an opening there, and they just didn't convert. It's been like that all game. You suggested they were having a go at them, but they're getting nowhere near the box for most of this game, and that's when they've had possession. They look a little bit devoid. Bayern Munich are just struggling in the final third, but the crossing into the box hasn't been great, but there's another opportunity here. Yeah,
Kingsley Coman with a chance to deliver a ball into the box is a good one, but once again Sergio Ramos is there to head away. On the volley after Sergio Ramos headed clear. He hit it low and hard. Donnarumma did really well, actually. Give credit to the goalkeeper. Probably the ball, and that's probably, I'd say, Bayern Munich's best.
It was a good save. It was well struck. Make the keeper work. It turns out that Donnarumma was up to the task, but they finally tested him. They needed to do that just for some bonus, and finally they've got him to work. Obviously, you wouldn't know who's in goal for going away from home. They're just not threatening at the moment. Because they've been pretty poor.
Yeah. poor one and was never really going to read themselves, really. So you wouldn't believe that the game's just about to take up to half-time and not full-time, the way the game has slowed down. As it is now with Jamal Musiala, does well to turn away there from Zaire Emery. He's going to move across towards this right-hand side. Now Cancelo is going to take on Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes does make a run in behind. It's a lovely ball from Carlos Soler there. The Spaniard picks out Mendes in fine. Brought to ground there by Matthias de Ligt. And now this is in real Messi territory, isn't it? They've got a free kick about 25 yards out.
Yeah, something has to be in his territory. Because, I mean, he's sprinted, what, 60, 70 yards there. He started 60 yards down the field and he's nowhere near the box. But the ball was held up by Mendes. Silly challenge from de Ligt. Messi was clever because it wasn't a great ball. The TV pictures are suggesting the distance to the goal, but they've got options here. Neymar and Messi are two obvious ones. I thought for a moment it was either Messi, it's either Neymar. I don't think there'll be much stoppage time. We've played a minute of it already. Free kick here to PSG.
Left-footed ball. He drives it straight into the wall. Michael Oliver blows his whistle, I think, to signify the end of this first half. Yes, he has. Well, it's been a bit of a drab first half. Both sides struggling to really create anything. PSG sitting back for most of it. They'll be more thankful going into the break at 0-0. Bayern Munich most definitely frustrated.
With all of the shots really in that first half, but not many of them tested Donnarumma in the PSG goal. In fact, that didn't come on until pretty much the stroke of half time. Kimmich from the edge of the box hit it hard and true, but Donnarumma equaled to it. Choupo-Moting's had a couple of efforts, as has Coman. PSG didn't have an effort at all in that first period until stoppage time, when a 30-metre Messi free kick was straight into the wall. 0-0.
flat back four now with Pavard at right back and the two centre backs with Davies at left back, and then the two in the midfield, and then the four in front. So more so standard Bayern Munich now. I think they're going a little bit more attacking, but taking off Cancelo, probably a strange decision. I probably would have gone for him at right back and taken off Pavard myself.
Yeah, it's well, they didn't need three defenders because there was barely three PSG players in their half for that opening period. We'll see how the second half pans out. PSG have possession, of course. A minute gone, just in case you're wondering the score in the other game. That was AC Milan 1, Tottenham 0 at the break. So the Italian side getting that early advantage. Whether they can see it through will keep you up to speed with scores and scorers. But we just want some goal-mouth action in this game. It's been a bit of a letdown considering the two sides that are playing. That's given away by, I think it was Emery on the halfway line. A chance for Bayern Munich to come forward. Sane in a very central position to Goretzka, who tried to take it in stride in the D. Tackled as soon as he was taking his second touch, which could have easily been a shot. But he was dispossessed. But again, PSG giving the ball away inside their own half hasn't proved costly. Well, it hasn't proved costly yet in the game, but they've done it often enough. Inviting trouble as Coman is on the right-hand side. Plays it off to Pavard in behind, and Bayern Munich retreat to the halfway line. Of course, this is only the first leg of two, and Bayern Munich will happily go back to Allianz Arena on level terms. As now Mendes tries to use his turn of speed, and he's got one as well. He's got the wrong side of Pavard. Give him a little shove in the back. Now, Pavard's the only man on a yellow card. Of course, Mendes has gone down. He's won the free kick. He's got up gesticulating for a second for Pavard. But more importantly, I mean, how quick was he there? He must have given Pavard about 10 yards.
That's another reason. I mean, I'd fight the corner for João Cancelo staying on the pitch. Pavard doesn't have that turn of foot. João Cancelo a lot more mobile, a lot quicker, can deal with Nuno Mendes' pace down that left-hand side. So another trick missed there by Julian Nagelsmann, I feel, as you've just seen it firsthand there. The speed that he has is going to cause Pavard problems on the counter-attack.
Free kick, very wide position, maybe 5 yards in from the touchline, possibly 30 yards from goal. Neymar stood over it. Looks as though there's one or two offside players there, but he doesn't reach any of them because it's headed away by De Ligt. Ramos might have been the target, but he might have also been offside. As I say, it doesn't really matter, as Kimpembe's first touch is to give it away, and now Choupo-Moting is driving forward into the edge of the box. A bit of a reckless challenge from Verratti, but it was more of an obstructing challenge as opposed to tackling the man. And I guess he's done his job because PSG have the ball back. They're still trying to play their way out of trouble. Eventually it's cleared. It bounced awkwardly for Davis. He doesn't take it cleanly, but neither does Messi. And Davis has come back to win it. So mistakes are leading to semi-chances. And Sergio Ramos strong in the challenge and then sidesteps his marker. PSG straight on the attack. Messi now has it driving inside. Admittedly, this only around about the halfway line. Played down the left wing, getting to the byline was Mendes. He's forced to check back. In fact, it's Kiki Sola. And just to keep possession and get away from markers. But a bit more positivity from PSG in the sense they got players higher up the pitch than in the first half. But Kimpembe's first touch was to give it away. So he's caught the disease, and he's actually playing in a central position. So maybe Marquinhos has come out to the right back position. It's at the feet of Zaire Emery. He's done really well to turn Alphonso Davies, driving to the edge of the box, low towards the near post, sliding in was Neymar, so was Upamecano. Who's it come off last? They're both appealing. It's wide of the post, gone behind. But good turn from Zaire Emery on that occasion. Who got the last touch? Probably Upamecano. What do you think?
Yeah, it's come off Upamecano. It's going to be a corner for PSG, but they've definitely started the second half better, haven't they? They've done more attacking in this last 4 minutes than they did in the first 45. So a lot more positive from the home side is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the game open up a bit more. Getting Neymar into the game. Messi's having a lot more influence. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Ball in towards the box from the corner. It's flapped out by Sommer. He might have just taken out the PSG player as well, who's rolling around. He'll have to get up soon because he is offside anyway. So it will be a free kick. Danilo's gone a fraction too soon. that probably would have needed a VAR confirmation either way. Sommer's come out and not really dealt with it. Momentum's taken him into Danilo. And we have seen somebody's let off a flare because it's gone all, firing up a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough, especially from a PS with Sommer. We just see the fist of Sommer. Has actually catched Pereira on the head. I mean, he's gone down, so he must be feeling some sort of effects from the challenge. He is sitting up right now, though, after some treatment. But yeah, I think we're definitely in for a better second half than we saw in the first. I mean, like I said, probably couldn't have got any worse. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how both sides play out. I'm quietly optimistic about this second half.
Danilo's back on his feet. He's had a bit of treatment, of course, so he's just heading off to the touchline. I have to say, Sommer didn't look overly concerned. Neither did other PSG players, and neither did the referee. So if VAR did look at anything, they've obviously decided there was nothing too untoward, and the play is finally restarted. Of course, Danilo's come straight back on the field. Bayern Munich have possession just inside the PSG half. But PSG showing a little bit more intent when they've had the ball in the opening 7 minutes or so in the second half. They really struggled to apply anything that would closely perhaps be suggested as being pressure on the German side. Here is Bayern on the attack. Choupo-Moting, left edge of the box to Davis. Cross comes in towards the far post, arriving late, shot through the keeper. We have a goal. It's Kingsley Coman, who doesn't necessarily want to celebrate over the top, the former PSG player, but Bayern Munich have the lead. All too simple in the end. Davis with the cross and an unmarked Coman, a side-footed volley, low. Maybe the keeper could have done better.
Yeah, that may be what we needed in this game. Something, a goal to liven it up, and we've got it. It's a really nice ball in from Davis. Take nothing away, but Mendes is also marking Musiala there. Him and Kimpembe have doubled up, leaving Koeman free at the back post. He needs to be tracking his man behind. He's not looked over his shoulder. It's poor defending from the Portuguese left back. And like you said, Donnarumma maybe could do better there. Koeman hits it really sweet on the volley. It's a difficult one to get right, that, but he's hit it low and he's directed it not quite as near the corner as he probably wanted to, but nonetheless, they all end up in the back of the net. They all count the same, so he's not going to mind too much. And now Bayern have finally taken the lead in a game that looked like it was theirs for the taking for the most part.
Yeah, they did, as we mentioned in the first half, did win on the last visit to the Parc des Princes, but went out. So all is not lost necessarily yet. The second goal in this game might be crucial, and of course, the media being what they are, have immediately panned to Kylian Mbappe on the touchline. He, of course, is amongst the substitutes in this game, having, I think, last week been ruled out of this clash, but obviously he's made a quick enough recovery to at least be on the bench, as Koeman is doing his defensive work here, but Sola helps out Mendes, gets to the edge of the, trying to keep it alive is Marquinhos, and does, but the pass out towards the right flank is a little bit behind Emery, and momentum lost. Bayern have regrouped. Danilo just tries to power his way through. In the end, it's a double, triple ricochet that's come back off. Yeah, Christophe Galtier has, well, he's speaking to Kylian Mbappe. That might suggest that Mbappe is coming on in the next few moments. Obviously, they need to do something offensively in this game because they haven't threatened enough at PSG. So it looks as though Mbappe is coming on soon. Bayern Munich have the lead as the game just ticks into the 56th minute. No real pressure on Bayern Munich to get the ball forward. They just slowed it down on the halfway line. With Joshua Kimmich currently in possession. A 1-2 with Sane. Now clips it forward towards Choupo-Moting, headed away by Ramos. As Emery turned his man, but the ball got away from him. Now breaking through his side, he goes past two, and he's brought down to the edge of the box. He doesn't really appeal for a penalty. Maybe the ball was taken. It's picked up by Donnarumma. No appeals from PSG. Bayern Munich won it back on the halfway line. But after PSG made a promising start, Bayern Munich, of course, have scored and have now got the ascendancy again.
Yeah, they have, and that move there was promising for them, wasn't it? The ball over the top for Leroy Sane, just couldn't quite get it out of his feet. Good footwork from him, though, as they look to move forward now. Kingsley Coman with the ball in the box.
Yeah, low ball this time is just defended away by Ramos. Under a bit of pressure there. He's managed to put it out for a throw in rather than a corner, though. It's right on the corner flag. Ball is in touch, and I think we're going to see the changes now. Looks as though it's more than one change. Kike Sola is... Carlos Sola is one that's going off. I think the second change is coming on for PSG as well. But Sola is off, and Mbappe is on. Fabian Ruiz has also entered the fray for Zaire Emery. Any surprises in those changes?
Not particularly. I think more of a tactical switch now, going to a 4-3-3 now with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar across the front three. So it'll be a flat midfield three of Pereira, Verratti, and Fabian Ruiz. So a little bit more attacking minded in terms of a PSG standpoint, but for now, they need to be, as Bayern look a lot more comfortable now they've got that first goal.
Ball into the box from Bayern Munich, well dealt with by a towering header from Ramos. And that's a good ball downfield because Neymar's got him behind Pavard. He's only got Mbappe up in support. Might not need him. He's into the box. Oh, Neymar just caught in two minds. Didn't really do anything with the ball. And it was halfway line though, rather aimlessly, because PSG comfortably regained possession. Now it's with Ruiz. He tried to feed it into Neymar. Just muscled out of it in the end by Goretzka, who's then caught by Verratti. Tries to point at the ball, but he's fooling no one. Referee's playing the advantage because Kingsley Coman has it. Crossfield diagonal is intercepted though, and PSG regained possession. They've just gone a little bit narrow. Messi was not back in an onside position, so they just lost a bit of momentum. And then Verratti is caught on his blind side, only for Goretzka to then give it away. Just for a moment, it's got a little bit scrappy. Ball downfield. Mbappe sprung the offside. It's a terrible pass. It's behind Neymar, straight to Coman, and Bayern Munich have it back. Coming up to the hour gone. But that high line from Bayern Munich, at times in the first half, it was about 10, 15 yards inside the PSG half.
Defender playing now, so they do have to be very careful when they are playing that high line in possession. All it takes is one ball, and we know how quick Mbappe is. He's probably can afford to give the defenders, all four of the defenders, about 10 yards and still beat them in a foot race. So they need to be aware of that threat in behind. If PSG want to try and play out quickly from the back and one ball over the top, they've got the likes of Messi, Verratti that can play those sort of 50-yard passes, inch perfect for Mbappe to latch onto. So that is something they need to be aware of. And it's going to be something that PSG might look towards as the game gets later, and if they're struggling to grab a goal and they need something, they could sort of resort to that Hail Mary-esque type of attacking play. So they're going to need a goal to take to the Allianz Arena if they want any sort of hope of getting through the contest over the two legs. Can't see them going to the Allianz and getting a result and needing to outscore Bayern on aggregate. So it's going to be an interesting last half an hour or so.
De Ligt gets to the Mbappe before he's able to sort of collect the ball, but already they just look a little bit more dangerous. PSG, I don't know, a couple of minutes, but Neymar and Messi were more or less pulling away from, and that threat is apparent very early doors. Still AC Milan 1, Spurs 0 in the other clash. A couple more The last 16 clashes starting tomorrow on mistake from Verratti. He's given the ball away. I think he tackled himself. And that's behind for a goal kick. Yeah, Verratti, he's not had a good game.
Classic as Italian midfielders go. He likes a slow tempo, likes to dictate play, and he's not really count half a dozen times at this point. He's just not really grown into the game. We've not seen that that cool, calm, and collected head of his that we're used to. He's not really tracking his man, so not really sure what he's brought to this PSG side in this game so far tonight.
Messi works a couple of ones. The space to work with, not many targets. And attempt from Choupo-Moting on the sort of side foot volley, acrobatic scissor kick type. It was just a fraction behind him. He's hit the top for Bayern Munich. It's too close to Donnarumma, makes the save and going straight down the other end. PSG have possession 30 yards out with that Neymar into the box. Just can't quite find the gap. Tried to tee up Messi instead, but he's outnumbered by 3-4 red shirts when there could have been a shooting opportunity, and Bayern Munich cleared their lines.
Because the ball was definitely too far behind him. He sort of made the best out of a bad situation there with the scissor kick attempt. It was always behind him. He needed to try something there. Maybe could have taken a touch, which could have been heavy given the circumstances of it. But I think he did well. Another attempt on target. They need to probably grab another.
The break is on because Davis is out of position. Sergio Ramos is playing it right back, but he's gone Hollywood and given it straight to Upamecano. So both sides guilty of making errors. Lovely turn from Musiala. Has got away from Mendes. He's right edge of the thing. I think Donnarumma got a touch. It hit the woodwork as well, though, for definite. PSG. That was with Sergio Ramos driving out from deep and then playing a terrible pass. He was then out of position. Arguably, they could be definitely 2 goals in front. Maybe should be given the chances. I think it's 11 shots, 12 shots now compared to PSG's 2. Of course, not all of them have been on target. Corner though to Bayern Munich towards the near post, headed towards goal. Suggesting it was handball by Choupo-Moting. He was certainly offside and probably handball as well. But 2 Bayern Munich defenders. I think Pavard got the touch. Probably getting shoved by De Ligt in the back. So PSG hanging on.
Yeah, they really are. It's a really nice header there, and Donnarumma saved them on 2 occasions now in quick succession as well. Really good couple of saves there, and Choupo-Moting, like you said, handballed it there to try and get the 3rd shot away. Really should have hit the target. He was so close to the goal. Unfavourable angle, but when it counted, nonetheless, it would have been in vain. PSG tried to go up the other end and score straight away. So the game's really starting to open up. It's making for an intriguing contest in the second half after that drab. Bayern still aren't they? They're not really relinquishing that statistics behind with his pace, but Bayern could easily go out and grab a second.
Yeah, they've hit the water a couple of times. Donnarumma's made a couple of saves, but of course they got on the attack once again with Sane fitting it out to the goal scorer Kingsley Coman. High hanging ball towards the far post. Ramos just creating extra body in the box. Might have even come off the So Pavard certainly got a touch. I'm not convinced it was the last one, but no real complaints from Benjamin Pavard. It saves, and well, PSG still haven't got going. 66th minute we're in now. Had two efforts, and neither have been particularly much to write home about. Neymar's won a free kick in the gone early, looking from Mbappe in behind, but it's well read by Upamecano. And then Bayern Munich, just for a moment, looked as though they were playing themselves into trouble, but there's always the man in space, the extra man in space. And eventually they find him. With Kimmich now last top for Koeman, but Koeman had stopped his run, aware that he'd gone offside. But Bayern Munich certainly the force in this game at the moment. Interval through former PSG player Kingsley Coman. Ball not kept in by Mendes. It was a loose pass from Messi, and he can't keep it in. So Bayern Munich again have possession back. Goretzka out to Davis. Pull back is behind Musiala. Goretzka right edge of the box, back to his captain, who now crosses it to the far post, and it's headed clear. Marquinhos, not to any particular great distance, picked up by Musiala, left of the D, rides a challenge. The ball gets away from Sana though, and now Neymar is bringing it clear. He's beaten one, beaten two. The ball got away from though, outnumbered in the end, and Bayern Munich win it back fairly easily with Goretzka, Musiala, and Bayern. And this time play it all the way back to the halfway of PSG.
No, there's not. And it's interesting considering they played so much together and have scored so many goals, cooperating with each other, assisting to each other. But he came on in the second half, so that could be a contributing factor. But even so, Messi and Neymar players really struggled to grow into a game, but that could just be a merit to Bayern Munich's defending and their high pressing.
Off, but not much more than that to write home about. 1-0 deficit isn't the worst. Second leg than they have today. I know that'd be away from home, obviously, but they haven't been great today. They've still got a quarter of this game left to try and turn it around.
Between Fabian Ruiz and Messi, they're finally getting out of their own half for the first time in a while. Ball over the top, looking for Mbappe. He was never going to win that. Characteristic loose pass of his own, but he did well to recover, and now he's skipped past a couple of Bayern Munich players and he's still going forward. Messi now. Bruno Mendes, his body's in the box. He directs the ball into towards Neymar, who's trying to take on Upamecano. That was cynical. And that's going to be the second yellow card of the evening, displayed towards Kimpembe for that challenge, breaking up a counter-attack.
Yeah, I mean, he essentially sold himself there. He committed to winning that ball, I suppose. Make sure that Coman didn't get past him, but he's on a yellow card now. He's not settled into the game as a half PSG, apart from when they were in possession. But I don't think they've had much help from the mid. This game from the off. They're not awed by a trip to the French capital. They're the ones that have asked the questions. But is it flattering them, or well, it's certainly not flattering them. Is it flattering PSG a little bit? They could do with a second, given the way this game's gone out. Sergio Ramos has left his mark on the attack.
Michael Oliver just giving the free kick in favour of the German side, which they take quickly. Now it's with Pavard. Now towards Alphonso Davies. He's trying to dummy Marquinhos, but instead forgot the ball in his. He's got a couple of options in field. Messi's dropped in short by Goretzka, and now Marquinhos is forced into going back to Ramos. He then finds his goalkeeper in Donnarumma. A couple of options in front of PSG. It is with Kimpembe. Back to Ruiz once more. Mbappe receives it into his feet. Looks to go back towards Nuno. Still, here is Ramos. And Messi, who's dropped once again pretty deep. He likes to do that when his side are losing. He drops in, wants to orchestrate from a little bit deeper. Just to see more of the ball. And now sprays it out towards Mbappe. Messi receives it back, but he's gone into a challenge there against Goretzka. And Goretzka came out down side. He's got options in the middle, back towards Sane, now Musiala and Goretzka. Cute ball over the top, looking for Davies. He's gone to ground, looking for in Donnarumma, and it looks as though Vitinha is stripping down and getting ready to come on. So another change for PSG, looking to try and sway the tie back from the Swissman, and now it's fallen to Neymar. He has a shot of his own, blocked once more. He was offside, but that was better. Ball over the top.
The sheer pace of Mbappe, they couldn't. Was always getting away from him, and by the time he was able to get a close to Mbappe, it was when the shot came in. But it's the first time they've actually looked dangerous, isn't it, compared to the amount of the attackers there were. So they're still struggling to get bodies downfield. But it's taken, what, 70 odd minutes for them to get a good shot, a goal. Could have easily been an equaliser. That's the warning to Bayern Munich. They've dominated this game, and yet
Build on that momentum. It'll be okay to continue as he just walks over to the top. Go off. It is going to be Pereira who's going to make way. Christophe Peltier definitely looking to go and grab an equaliser. He's not happy to sit on a 1-0 loss going into the second leg. Fixture, and it's going to be Maxime Choupo-Moting is going to come off. So a straight swap up front. Thomas Muller, a little bit more of a going to want to try and grab a second goal by just to kill this first leg off. But it is with Bayern Munich, and Kimmich is still going forward. He did really well then. Now in towards Muller. His first touch was a layoff in towards the middle of the park. We're just waiting for confirmation. I think Serge Gnabry's also come on. We're just waiting for confirmation on that though, as it looks like there's somebody new on the pitch. It is Serge Gnabry. And now the Lick chests it down, but he can only chest it out for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Mbappe here. Who's he crossing to again? I mean, they're not busting a gut to get in the box. I mean, they're trying to. Corner kick to PSG.
Yeah, good header in from Marquinhos. It's an effort on target at least, and a good one at that. As the ball came in from Messi for the Swissman in goal to save. It's nonetheless a good effort on target for to take on his man here, directing towards Musiala. Sane gets it back. He can't take it under control now. Vitinha will look to play out with Messi now. He's been pulled back by Muller, but he's still going to go forward. Well there to link up with Mbappe. It seemed as though the ball was stuck to his foot there. They couldn't really get it away from him without fouling him. They will take the free kick here, PSG, inside the Bayern. We've given the ball away pretty easily there, and now Bayern were looking to counter down under the challenge from Thomas Muller there, Kimpembe. It's a really weak foul.
And ball. I think that's the second yellow card. I mean, he's collapsed before Muller's even there. I mean, you might want to argue that, you know, there's contact, but he is falling over before Muller's got there, in my opinion. And then he's picked up the ball. I mean, that's deliberate handball. He didn't want to have to deal with it. A little bit sloppy from PSG because they had possession inside the Bayern half. I mean, they just haven't got going at all. There's been problems all over the pitch when in possession. It started from the off.
In possession, the away side. Maybe time to just settle things down for them and see out a pretty comfortable 1-0 victory to head to the Allianz. But, no, they look like they're going for more here as they move forward, but Havard, and now Leon Goretzka will just get his head up for his free number 10 role. And right now you think he's playing as a 6 as he's that deep, but he's played a lovely ball over the top for Serge Gnabry, who's going to take it down on the chest. Referee deems that would have come off his arm. He's going to give a free kick in favour of PSG. I'm not really sure if that came off the arm. We'll have to see another look at it, but we're not going to, because so it's back on level terms. Still no goals to tell you about in the other Champions League games tonight at the San Siro between AC Milan and Tottenham. An early goal from Brahim Diaz. Neymar has options forward. He's decided to go out towards the left-hand side. Fabian Ruiz does well to find Nuno Mendes. Once more, drop back towards Verratti. He's under pressure from Leon Goretzka. Area. Neymar's there, but it's a good challenge and clearance from Pavard. from Nuno Mendes, but really good play from the Portuguese left back.
Yeah, he's looked dangerous from a couple of times he's got forward. I mean, I don't understand why he hasn't got forward more often. It's because injured. He was trying to just stretch across. Mendes has done really well to hold him off. I'm not sure where the contact come. I think he was just trying to buy a free kick, didn't quite come. But again, the cross from to concede. To get a yellow card for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Jamal Musiala moving forward. He's got options to his right, options to his left. He does find Thomas Muller, who's going to go for a shot from just outside the penalty area. It's a horrible one from the story of the evening, really. They got their one we saw there, and now PSG right on the counter attack here with Nuno Mendes. Oh, Kylian Mbappe, after coming on, has looked PSG to the tie with a lovely counter attack. Whereas Bayern Munich should have just gone and scored at the other.
When he's made the run. Super Meccano stood up with him. Is he offside? Do he's find him?
Yeah, the referee is just holding his arm in the air. Features. So points for them.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. The weekend in the Premier League, of course, take longer. It didn't take long to rule it out. As soon as they stilled it, it did. Talking a matter of inches, but I guess to a degree is done pretty well. But there's the reminder.
Fabian Ruiz now plays the ball out towards Verratti. Looking a lot more. PSG is. Mbappe finds Neymar, delivers the ball out towards the left-hand side. There from Nuno Mendes. Foot in the way. It's probably a definite goal there from Lionel Messi as he gets the goal. But PSG, I mean, it may be too little too. Corner now. Messi delivers it in. Sommer can't deal with it too well.
With footwork, not just pace. I think the run of Mbappe was crucial there as the corner comes in. Just about dealt with. First half was getting beyond or getting bodies in. Home, here they come again.
Yeah, Fabian Ruiz. Get to lap towards Vitinha, who's had a shot. And that could have been a fantastic. Through the legs of Goretzka, but unfortunately for him, it was right down the throat of Jan Sommer, who did well to hold on to it and not parry it. To get something from this game, as Michael Oliver's dished out another yellow card. I think it's to Vitinha for a challenge. Kimmich. Player is no stranger to the referee's book. Neymar. Musiala. Musiala not really had a great impact on the game. And Gravenberch will come on to see out the final 5 minutes or so. The man who signed the option for Kano on the right hand side. Sweep up the danger out towards Marquinhos. He'll slow things down. He's got Kimpembe. Now Ramos once more, and for a side who are 1-0 down. Good play in the end here from Messi. Tried to slot it through towards Mbappe. They're
Yeah, just looking at the offside again. Because it's that 3D. He was just struggling to keep up with him, but I wouldn't say Bayern Munich are hanging on, because this is obviously a talented PSG. And I think Bayern Munich will just be happy to take the 1-0 lead back to the alley. Bayern Munich just got a little bit scrappy in their possession. They'd be very